Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tracy Armstrong, owner operator of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the area's welcome wagon lady, welcoming all the new homeowners and businesses to the ever-growing North Pittsburgh area. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Kehle Murphy, owner of Pelles Heating and Air Conditioning, located in Mars. Pelles Heating and Air Conditioning has been part of the North Pittsburgh Welcoming Bag for about 5, 6 years now, and it's just wonderful. I love working with Kaylee and her mother. And what separates Kaylee from every other HVAC company, I think, in the Pittsburgh area, is she owns the business. Not very many women out there own a heating and air conditioning business because it is prominently a male dominated industry. And I just think it's fabulous that Kaylee holds her own. And she runs the business and the men do all the work. And I think that's how everything should be in this world, personally. But Kaylee is a wonderful person. Pelles Heating and Air Conditioning has been in business how many years now, Kaylee?
We started in business in 97, so I guess that's just about, we're going on 24 years. And currently, the business is still owned by my mom, but my husband and I and one of our technicians are looking towards, like, we're starting into the succession planning process, and we are going to be taking over the company. But right now, we are women owned and operated, and once that changes over, we'll be women owned and operated, but also veteran owned because my husband was in the Navy.
And let's get to know, like you said, Kaylee, you and your husband, your mother, Sue Pelles. I'm sure a lot of people know her out in the community. Sue's one of the kindest, sweetest ladies ever. You're so lucky to call her mother. But let's get to know more about you, Kaylee, and your husband, James. Kaylee, more about you first. You're a graduate of Mars High School. You played on their basketball team, and then you went to University at Mount Union, and it continued to play basketball for them. Can you tell us a little bit more about growing up in Mars? Very short and sweet. And tell us now how you take your love and passion for basketball, and you're still using that passion to help young boys in the community. Could you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I certainly could. I could expound on that and talk for days, probably. But yeah, I grew up in Mars. I was originally homeschooled and then went to public school in 8th grade. I'm 6'2", so I didn't have a whole lot of choice. I got recruited to basketball at a very young age, and I've been this height since I was 11. So I started into basketball, played for 14 years, and now my dad and I actually coach at our local church. Life Point Alliance. It's in Mars, and there's an upward basketball program. I'm the referee commissioner there, and my dad and I also currently, once season starts, we'll be coaching another high school boys basketball team. So my dad is my assistant coach, which is extra fun. So yeah, we absolutely love doing that. My dad and I have been coaching together. This will be our 3rd season. We started with middle school boys, and then there was an opening in the high school division that they needed some help, and I started originally, actually, this will probably be my 6th year coaching at the high school level. I started with girls the first 3 years. So yeah, it's been a big passion of mine.
I know it's a huge passion, and you also love giving back to the community. And I know you just love working with children. And one thing about sports, especially today, is it's great to keep kids active so they're not playing on video games or getting deep into social media. Sports is just a healthy, active way for kids to stay out of trouble. And it's really commendable that you take your personal time and go and mentor the youth. Now, let's talk about your husband, James. He's also from the Pittsburgh area. He's a graduate of Carrick, and he spent 5 years in the Navy, so he is a veteran. And thank you, James, for all of your service that you've done for this country. Can you tell us a little bit more about James and his Navy career and what made him position from going that into the private sector and now joining the family business?
Yeah, so that was a process, but so when James got out of high school, he went straight into the Navy. He served 5 years as a submariner. Well, part of that was his training. I wasn't involved in his life at that point, but he was stationed in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and he was out there for 4 years, and he had done a couple of tours and in this Ocean over there, I guess is how you would call it. But yeah, so when he got out of the Navy and moved back to Pittsburgh, he started working locally. And actually, a good friend of mine from growing up had ended up marrying his best friend, and that's how we met. So it was really cool. So he was working in manufacturing, and he was a technician in the Navy, electronics technician. And so when we met and we eventually got married, he
Mhm.
knew that the family business was kind of something that was going to be a part of our life for a long time. And so he was interested in it and ended up coming to work with us. And it'll be about 2 years that he has been full time here at Pelles, but he's been helping us with payroll and all of his I always like to tell people that we make a pretty awesome couple. I'm pretty, he's awesome. So he fills in all of the extra that I lack in for sure. But he's been a tremendous asset to coming over here, and he's very good at the technical side of it. He kind of adds that piece, which has been really great to help us out in the office here.
And what made you decide after college? What made you decide, like, you know what? I'm going to dive into the family business. What made you to? Because a lot of people nowadays like, oh, do I want to work for my parents? I don't. I don't want to be under my parents' control, even at work. Not control.
Mhm.
You might want to gain some independence, but you chose to stick into family business right in Mars, where you grew up. What made you choose to make that decision in your life?
Yeah, well, to be completely honest with you, I went and got an exercise science degree because I wanted to be the furthest thing from a heating and cooling contractor possible. So, but when I went to school and I was the first one in my family to graduate from a 4-year college, and we didn't know how to get me there. We didn't know how financial aid worked. We didn't know scholarships, stuff like that. And so I ended up paying for the deal when I went to school was I pay for school and my parents would buy me a car. So I ended up paying student loans out the wazoo. I had a massive payment when I got out of school and was not able to make ends meet with my degree. So I ended up working in warehousing, which ended up being for an HVAC distributor. And then my dad had a hip replacement, and my mom needed help at the office because my dad actually hasn't worked in the business for 12 years now. So he's
Mhm.
been out and working with another commercial business for that length of time, and mom has been the sole owner. And so but dad has been involved in a lot of the decisions. Obviously, they're still married, they very much love each other. So he's been involved in a lot of it. So when he had the hip replacement, mom needed to really help him out with a lot of stuff. She needed more help here, and it made more sense for me to. I hated my job at the time, so I needed to get out, and mom needed help. So it worked out great, and I've been here next month. Will be 5 years full time. So
Yeah, it's been a
crazy.
while. So, Palace Heating and Air Conditioning, you're located on Brickyard Road in Mars, PA. Can you tell us all the different services that you offer?
Yeah, yeah. So we're an HVAC company, so that stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So we focus a lot on we do any natural gas, propane, oil furnaces. In Western Pennsylvania, everybody needs heat, so we focus on a lot of those. We're one of the only contractors in the area that still work on both boilers and oil. So a lot of people are kind of getting out of that business. There's not as many around, but they still need yearly maintenance. So we love helping those customers. We do a lot with air conditioning in the summertime.
Mhm.
We are able to work on and install hot water tanks in Butler and Beaver counties. In Allegheny County, you have to be a master plumber, and we haven't been to that phase yet. But yeah, we do a lot of retrofits, a lot of installations. This area is very up in, or they were up and coming about 15, 20 years ago, which meant that a lot of the systems installed are now needing replaced. So we've been helping a lot of customers with that in the area as well.
What service areas you did say, you can't perform certain duties in Allegheny County that you can in Beaver and Butler, but what service areas do you offer? How
Yeah.
far will you go to service a client?
Yeah, I mean, we do have some outlier clients that have been long time where we'll go down and a couple of people kind of like up in Newcastle or like out towards the Greensburg area. But for the most part, our service radius is about 30 minutes around from Mars. and we are able to service down into like the city line for Pittsburgh and
Mhm.
up into Butler, over to Beaver, out towards Saxonburg, like that type of that radius around Mars area.
And do you have emergency services available for, say, somebody's heater goes out on, it's January, 19 degrees outside, and their heater breaks down at 3 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, Sunday morning. Are you able to accommodate for emergency services?
Yes, absolutely. And we have gotten a lot of those calls over the years, as you can imagine. But we have 24-hour, 24/7 um, availability to a technician. One of our guys is always on call. So whenever you would call in, and it's no matter what time of day, and you get our voicemail, you have the option to select the emergency line. And when you leave your voicemail, it sends an email out to the entire team, and the technician on call will get to listen to that message and call you back as soon as possible.
Amazing. And what else? What sets you apart from other heating and air conditioning companies in the area, apart from being female and veteran owned?
I was going to say that's probably one of the biggest parts, but we
Right?
really
It is.
love, yeah, and we really, really love on our customers. So Sue has been answering the phones for a really long time, obviously since day one, and I kind of have picked that up now, primarily answering customer calls. But a lot of our customers are almost like family to us, and we have worked with them for a very long time. We really strive to be as professional as possible. Some of our guys have been with us, like one of our technicians has been with us over 20 years. One of our other guys has been here almost 10 years. Like we really strive to have you feel like you're included, almost like family. And we develop that relationship by really talking with people because we genuinely care. We don't ever
Mhm.
force anything on anybody. We always let people know their options and educate people on what is out there, because that's what we do. You paying us to come to your home because we know our stuff about your system. Most people think it's just a box in their basement that makes their house warm. So we really want to be able to help and provide that professionalism and that family environment so you feel safe. One of the things that we do is we do send a picture of our technicians to the customer as they're coming out, so that they know who to expect at their home. Because we do have a lot of either single moms or moms that are at home with their kids, and sending a
Absolutely.
strange man there might be a little unnerving sometimes. So we try to
Mhm.
put people at ease, and um, that's one of the things I love to do here, is just being able to help people understand, that we're able to help them.
Fantastic. Now, if somebody is out there listening right now and they would like to get, preventative maintenance done on their, on their heater or anything, now that winter months are coming up, or, they're planning on finishing their basement and they want to upgrade things. How can somebody get in touch with you today to make an appointment for your services?
Well, we have lots of options for that. But yeah, the primary way that a lot of people reach out to us is by calling the office. And our numbers, it's listed online, but it's also 724-625-2444. So you can find us on there. We have a Facebook page and also a website, pelleshvac.com. And they can go right on there, and there's a big old button right up in the corner that says schedule now. And what that does is it sends you can pick the time on your schedule, like if you're not able to call in,
Mhm.
and then it sends us a reminder to put you on the schedule, and then we give you a call just to verify details and are able to get you on the schedule at that point.
Fabulous. And is everybody watching today, all of the contact information to get in touch with Pelles will be listed in the comments below. Well, Kaylee, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today. I just adore working with you and your mother. You really are a lovely couple. Your husband, James, I've had the pleasure of meeting him several times. Great guy. Just you two are a phenomenal young couple who are
Thank
just
you.
really gonna charge through in life. And I see nothing but wonderful things happening when you and James take over the business. And it's great. And again, James and Kaylee are local people. Support your local businesses. It's important more than ever to support local and keep our local economy flourishing. So, Kaylee Pelles, it was a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you.
And
You
again,
as well.
Oh, it was wonderful. And everybody, again, thank you for watching. Again, this was Tracy Armstrong of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company. We are the key to making the first impression. Thank you.